You know, I was pretty shocked today. I actually jumped on and did a live stream at 10, 10:15. So he collapsed at 9 o'clock and they worked on him for an hour and then they announced it. So this is probably 10 minutes after he had announced it. Now, you have to remember my perspective on Newstalk ZB is probably one that's slightly different to yours because I have sat in that studio. I was on air when the earthquake happened, the first earthquake in Christchurch. I was on air, not at Newstalk ZB, but somewhere else when the planes flew into the Twin Towers. You know, so I've experienced and done huge breaking news stories. This, although people are going to go, well, he's a Green MP, he's a list. This is a huge New Zealand story. So what I did in the live stream, and it's actually up on our YouTube page if you want to go have a look at it, you can see this is about halfway through the live stream. It was only 20 minutes. Was I was jumping around the news sites and having a look, and I jumped over to Newstalk ZB, and I saw their front page was Green MP Efeso Collins dies after collapsing it. And I thought, okay, what are they saying? Because the thing to do now is you listen to Talkback. That's where people go and they hear what the community is talking about. And this is what happened. Green MP. Actually, why don't we listen live as well? See, because that'll be Talkback going on right now. Let's just see what they're saying, what people are saying on Newstalk ZB as well.
Well, thank you. Yes, on Nature Boy. Haha, Nature Boy didn't hear the call but heard the sting played repeatedly yesterday. Good on him, says Matt.
What?
It's fantastic to see there are young people seeing right through the corrupt system most of us are slaves to.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Thrive in your freedom and know your value is in getting the slaves to question their servitude and serfdom within a system that increasingly serves the interests of...
This can't be live.
You didn't really forward his details to authorities, did you? That would be a big disappointment to me and a betrayal of confidence. Matt, I'd never send anybody's personal details. No. I was saying I might send the call, him and Barbecue Man, but I'd never send
Surely this can't be live on ZB. I must have clicked on the wrong thing.
Even if we had their addresses. No, I would not. No, I haven't done it yet, and I'm so slack I probably won't. Caleb says, Kerry, I was on the dole for a few months in 21.
Okay.
Nobody can ever complain.
I'm stopping that. Newstalk ZB is so. I'll leave it. I've got another little clip to play. So I thought I was being quite generous. I thought, and I was like, I must have made a mistake. I must have got the wrong. Or maybe I clicked back the hour before or something. No, it was the correct hour. And they weren't talking about it at all. Now, some people have, I put this out on a tweet there, some people have criticised me and go, well, there's other things to talk about. I'm like, no, that's not how news works. This is why this story was the lead story all day. It was the lead story on 3 News and 1 News. It was the biggest story in New Zealand. And look, not to sound like too much of a commercial radio guy, but a big news story drives the telephone lines. And you go, oh my gosh, this is incredibly sad news. If you were in his ward, if you knew him from university, if you voted for him, if you know Efeso, give us a call. We want to hear your thoughts. And that fills up the rest of the show. That's how Talkback works. So I thought, well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong. And it sounds a little bit sort of calculating, but it's how Talkback works. You want to get the phones going, but it's also how you provide the narrative to the audience, to society. It's the marketplace, right? So I went back in, so I listened to it for a bit longer and I listened through the ad break, and then I heard this after the ad break. And Kerry Woodham started talking about Efeso Collins, and I went, oh, finally, they are actually talking about it. Oh, that's good. I'm just like, so this is how it went after the ad break. Time check, 10:26.
Very, very sad for Efeso Collins' family. It looks like a gorgeous family too. Wife and 2 little girls. He's worked a lot for his own people in South Auckland.
Oh, good Lord.
Students at university. Was in the mayoral race for Auckland, and now, of course, a list Green MP.
And now you're going to go into a conversation about
this?
And
then helping out a charity, and that's the way it ends.
Wow.
Or are you going to go back to benefit?
49, I think. Which seems absurdly young. So very sad for the Greens and for, more specifically, his large extended family.
Sounds
Nate,
like someone reading bullet points.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Lovely chat as always. Very sad to hear for Efeso Collins and the Green team. Hey, just wanted to make a few quick points on both yesterday's chat around Nature Boy and I guess today's chat around obesity.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I guess...
So So the conversation then went on about benefit bashing, fat people, and whatever the conversation yesterday with Nature Boy was out. And I was furious. I was furious because, and this might sound a bit weird, but I love the medium of talkback. It can do. I've seen it bring a country together when the earthquakes happen. I've seen it, and it's just like thrown away. You know, we won't talk about this. Let's talk about why should you be on the dole. Sorry, Cherry, you
go. This is my hand up. What the fuck is Nature Boy?
No, I don't know. The topic they talked about yesterday. But it was more important. It was more important to talk about the thing they talked about yesterday than to talk about. I mean, I'm trying to be careful. I want to make it sound like I happily use bad news to get the phone lines going. But that's what talkback is. It's the biggest news story, and it's like this is the water cooler moment. I've seen people in the comments say, "I heard about this at morning tea." You hear about it at morning tea, then everyone's talking about it around the water cooler. That's what talkback's supposed to be.
I had customers mentioning it to me in the shop.
Yeah.
Just being, wow, you know, like, and just sounded a lot more genuine than Kerry Woodham did there. Like, I mentioned it while you were playing the clip. It sounds like she's reading bullet points off a piece of paper her producer put in front of her.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like someone actually putting effort in. Like, oh, he was an advocate for his people.
Yeah.
He was. And university students, and obviously Green MP, and and a charity. I won't name the charity. Like you couldn't even get that minimum level. Do some good out of this comment by mentioning the charity.
Yeah,
that's news. That's like you're on a news, nominally a news station. That's information that you can find to mention in your piece, but it wasn't there. And without hearing the rest of what that caller was going to talk about, I'm gonna use my powers of deduction here, and we're going to go into a trope that I absolutely love, because whenever there's a story about beneficiaries, and whenever there's imagery attached to it, they're always fat. Do you know that, Pat? So they're poor and fat. They're not starving, are they? The big poor fatties. And these guys don't draw the direct line between the fact that the most affordable food is the cheapest, shittest, sawdust, empty calorie filled bullshit out there. How much is a 2-litre bottle of milk? Like $4?
$4.50, yeah.
Yeah. How much is a bottle of Coke?
Oh, $2.
Half that.
Yeah.
Half that. You know, bag of chips might make you feel full. It's all empty calories.
Yeah. Get them on special for $1.
But that's what you've got. Hey, I've just noticed a couple of super chats coming in. We mentioned at the start of the show. Thank you so much for the super chats. If you've got money to spare, please push it towards child fund that Efeso was drawing attention to today.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you flicking us money, but that's today's mission.
You can start bribing us again on Monday to play your things. Go. I mean, like, thank you. I mean, like, totally thanks. We can put. I'm still happy to put them up because people are doing it. Junk says, when I found out, I clicked on ZB at work around 1 p.m. Two hosts were talking only about Ginny Anderson's comments on Mitchell. Unbelievable. Well, that's interesting. So I didn't listen anymore after that. And Alex wants to know if there's a GoFundMe for their family. I don't know, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything yet. And then, is it Modi Order? Modi Order is $10. And I can see the word rangatira, chiefly title. I'm not even going to try and butcher what Modi Order is saying, but there you go. Thank you for your super chat. But yeah, look, if anyone else is thinking about it tonight, just flick it to these guys who are on the screen right now. If you're listening to this in post, childfund.org.nz, the charity that Efeso was supporting today could do with some support tonight or tomorrow if you're listening to this on audio. Yeah, the other thing about Newstalk ZB that frustrates the shit out of me is there's no competition for them now. I got messages when I tweeted about it that was wall-to-wall coverage on RNZ, But RNZ is not the same thing. RNZ sort of feeds the marketplace, but isn't the marketplace because they don't get the people coming in on the phones. And, Today FM was a competition and they're gone. So actually, wait for the conversation tomorrow night, but this neoliberal radio station full of right-wing commentators, who are also the biggest radio station because MediaWorks, can I say this, fucked it up when there was some very easy, low-hanging fruit they could have gone to grow their audience and chose to try and compete against Newstalk ZB. I'm going to get in my soapbox now. Fucking Today FM had someone from 9 till midday who said they'd vote for Trump. From midday till 3 p.m, they had an ACT party member and someone who wanted to be a National Party MP. That was their competition to Newstalk ZB. So they absolutely fucked it up. And that leaves the country, not just me and you, because it's so funny. I was talking to a mate today who's in the podcasting world, and he goes, what we forget, Pat, I haven't said this to you, True, but think about this. What we get is we get to actually use this like counseling. We get to talk all this stuff out. We get to go and have a little cry while we're watching a video and share our heart and feelings with you guys. You guys get to do it in the chat through to us. But that used to kind of be one of the roles of talkback as well. You get into the community, you hear the views, you share your own, you this, that. But if you've just got a neoliberal right-wing perspective and narrative coming through, who's going to enjoy that? Who's going to be fed by that? It's horrible. It's horrible. Anyway, sorry, I'm not going to go on a rant about talkback. So
I think Kerry Woodham just failed a very basic test almost of being able to show very basic empathy of like people are sad that someone has gone. I don't understand why, but and it's just like it's a news station. This is news, and you're exactly right. Like it would have driven discussion, and it would have been a lot healthier for people, I would hope. But yeah, if you're like, I mean, I think we're a good example of this, right? If you're on the left and politically focused and have thoughts and feelings and opinions and that sort of thing, would you go to Newstalk ZB? Do you think you get a fair hearing by literally anyone on their roster?
No.
So where do you put your thoughts? So then the zone gets flooded with just the most terrible, hateful nonsense. And then here we are, our chat has been overwhelmingly reflective and positive and just acknowledging what's being lost. And isn't that a better place? But apparently not what the advertisers are after.
Listen, I'm going to share another super chat. I thank you for it, but look, we've said again, send it off to these other guys. But this is a very interesting comment, and I am going to look this up. At 4:45 p.m. on ZB, Barry Soper said he was surprised that Parliament was lifting for a week due to Collins' death. Anything for a holiday, I guess. Those were his actual words. Go back and listen on demand. I will be, and if he has said that, that will be a feature piece coming out on Twitter.
Absolute dog shit person. So yeah, I mean, what happens if someone in his sphere at work dies? I guess you just step over the corpse and carry on, right?
Well, let's go back to when Holmesy passed. I was there.
Yeah.
We were working there.
Like think about your own workplace. If someone that you work with in your business, organization, department, whatever, suddenly dropped dead, what would your workplace do? I can quite confidently say that my shop would be shut. And I think of other places that I work at too, the expectation is that you don't make people work through that.
Yeah.
It's just nonsense. It's just like, why do we expect our politicians to be absolute ghouls with no heart? Like, I think that's what's missing. As we often comment on the lack of humanity in some political figures. And I've gone to a point of pointing out that some of the main offenders have said genuine human comments. reflecting on a colleague, an opposition colleague, suddenly passing. And you get someone like Barry Soper come in with just like step over the corpse and carry on.